Hello everyone. This is fourth lecture on subject Income Tax 2 for BCom 6th semester. In today's class, we are going to learn methods of computation of capital gains. The methods of computation of capital gain is classified into two. One is short-term capital gains and second is long-term capital gains. In previous class, we have understood meaning of both short-term as well as long-term capital gains. That is, any gains arises on transfer of short-term capital asset is known as short-term capital gain, and any gain that arises from transfer of long-term capital asset is known as long-term capital gain. To know whether a capital asset is short-term capital asset or long-term capital asset, we have seen this chart. That is, the capital assets are classified into two: financial assets and non-financial assets. Financial assets are equity shares, preference shares, securities, bonds, etc. And non-financial assets are all the other assets than the financial assets, such as land and building, plant and machinery, furniture, jewelry, etc. On the basis of financial and non-financial asset, as well as on the basis of holding period, we get to know whether the capital asset is a short-term capital asset or long-term capital asset. That is, in case of financial asset, that is shares and securities which are listed in stock exchange market, the holding period is 12 months. Therefore, if any assessee holds shares and securities for less than 12 months, then that capital asset is known as short-term capital asset. And if the assessee holds shares and securities for more than 12 months, then it is known as long-term capital asset. In case of land and building and unlisted shares, the holding period is 24 months. So if the assessee holds land and building and unlisted shares and securities for less than 24 months, then it is short-term capital asset. If he holds it for more than 24 months, then it is long-term capital asset. Then, in case of other assets, in case of other non-financial assets such as plant and machinery, furniture, jewelry and other assets, the holding period is 36 months. So, if any assessee holds these assets for less than 36 months, then those assets are treated as short-term capital assets. And if the assessee holds those assets for more than 36 months, then they are known as long-term capital assets. Any gain arises on transfer of short-term capital asset is short-term capital gain. Any gain arises on transfer of long-term capital asset is treated as long-term capital gain. So capital gains are classified into two: short-term capital gain and long-term capital gain. Now coming to the important part of today's class, that is computation of short-term capital gain under section 48. So we are going to learn the format of computation of short-term capital gain. First of all, we take full value of consideration on transfer. From full value of consideration on transfer, we deduct expenses on transfer. The balance is known as net consideration. From this balance, we deduct two values, that is cost of acquisition and cost of improvement. And the balance is known as gross short-term capital gains. From this balance, we deduct exemptions if they are given any, and the balance is our answer, that is net short-term capital gains. There are some important terms given. Let us understand them one by one. First term is full value of consideration on transfer. Full value of consideration on transfer is nothing but the value at which assessee sells any capital asset. That means the selling price of capital asset is known as full value of consideration. For example, an assessee sells land and building at 50 lakh rupees. What is the selling price of land and building? He sells land and building for 50 lakh rupees. So the selling price is nothing but it is known as full value of consideration on transfer. So at the time of selling that land and building, at what value he is selling it, it is known as full value of consideration. Next term is expenses on transfer. Expenses on transfer is nothing but the expenses incurred by assessee while selling the capital asset. And those expenses can be registration fees, stamp duty, brokerage, legal charges or commission paid. So the expenses that are incurred by the assessee while selling the asset has to be deducted from full value of consideration, and the balance is known as net consideration. From net consideration we deduct cost of acquisition. Now what is cost of acquisition? Cost of acquisition is nothing but the value at which the capital asset is acquired. Acquired means purchased. So the purchase price of capital asset is known as cost of acquisition. Suppose in our example, the land and building is sold by an assessee at rupees 50 lakhs. Suppose he had purchased that land and building 10 years back at rupees 30 lakhs. So purchase price of that land and building is 30 lakh, which is known as cost of acquisition. Next value that we deduct from net consideration is cost of improvement. Now cost of improvement is nothing but any expenses incurred by assessee on improving that capital asset. In our example, that is land and building, it was purchased for 30 lakh rupees, and let's assume that the assessee has made some renovations to that existing land and building. So the cost of renovation or cost of repair of that land and building is known as cost of improvement. Any improvement cost incurred by assessee on the capital asset is known as cost of improvement. Then cost of acquisition and cost of improvement are deducted from net consideration, and whatever balance remains, that is known as gross short-term capital gains. In problem, if you are given any exemptions, those are to be deducted. If no, then gross short-term capital gain itself is net short-term capital gain. And if you are given any exemptions, then after deducting the exemptions, whatever balance remains, that is known as net short-term capital gain. I hope you have understood the format of computation of short-term capital gain. First is we take the selling price of the capital asset. That means the value at which the assessee has sold the capital asset. So after that, less expenses on transfer such as registration fees, brokerage, commission, etc. Balance is net consideration. From that balance, deduct cost of acquisition and cost of improvement. Cost of acquisition is cost of purchase of that capital asset. Cost of improvement means the cost that is incurred on renovation or repair of that capital asset. And the balance is known as gross short-term capital gain. From that balance, deduct exemptions if they are given, and the balance is known as net short-term capital gains.